Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's explainer. We're peeling back the shadows today to look at a man who, let's be honest, has probably cost you a few nights of sleep. Yep, we're talking about the undisputed heavyweight champion of the macabre, Stephen King. Get ready, because we are deconstructing the master of modern horror himself. We're going to look at exactly how he built an absolute empire out of our deepest, darkest anxieties, and we'll move at a relentless pace to uncover the mechanics of his truly terrifying success.
Monsters are real, and ghosts are real too. They live inside us, and sometimes they win. Just let that sink in for a second. Before we even start talking about terrifying clowns or haunted hotels, this right here is the fundamental thesis of his entire creative empire. King's true genius, it's actually not about the supernatural at all. It's his profound, deeply unsettling grasp of our own psychological fragility. He knows exactly what makes human beings tick, and more importantly, he knows exactly what makes us break.
Section 1. The Modern Horror Master. So how exactly does a struggling English teacher, a guy living in a trailer, literally typing away on a makeshift desk in a tiny laundry room, evolve into a globally recognized literary icon? Over 400 million copies sold worldwide. I mean, wow. We aren't just talking about a successful author here. We're looking at sheer, total cultural dominance. This isn't just some fun statistic. It's a shockwave. To put that massive milestone into perspective, this is a man who has shaped the fears of multiple generations across the entire globe. He's churning out bestsellers with a velocity and a mass appeal that leaves the publishing world absolutely breathless.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what I mean. His status as the master is built on these towering pillars: Carrie, The Shining, IT, Misery. Literally any single one of these titles would be the crowning achievement of a normal writer's entire career. But for King, it was just his opening act. These aren't just books anymore. They're pillars of pop culture. They've been adapted, remade, and referenced so many times that his specific nightmares have basically become our shared cultural vocabulary. He didn't just participate in the horror genre, he built its modern foundation.
Section 2. Crafting Everyday Nightmares. Now, what's really interesting here is his secret sauce. It isn't about creating distant alien worlds or incredibly complex sci-fi universes. No, it's taking the incredibly mundane, everyday things you trust and making them absolutely terrifying. Think about it. A loyal family dog, a classic vintage car, a cheerful circus clown. He hijacks these comforting objects, turning them into a rabid killer in Cujo, a possessed machine in Christine, and an ancient cosmic evil in IT. He doesn't need to invent new things for us to fear. He weaponizes the everyday objects and experiences you already know, turning your own comfortable, safe reality right against you.
And to contain that fear, he brilliantly uses the small-town setting. Think of Castle Rock or Derry. Why does this actually matter to you as a reader? Well, because by isolating his characters in these seemingly idyllic, closed-off environments, King isn't just setting up a cheap jump scare. He is building a pressure cooker of psychological suspense. This isolation forces the characters to confront deep-seated societal anxieties and the darkness lurking right next door. It makes the terror intensely intimate and, honestly, undeniably real.
Section 3. A Legacy in Pop Culture. Let's look at how this builds over time, because creating a few iconic monsters is one thing, but maintaining a grip on the cultural imagination for over 5 decades? That requires an incredibly relentless work ethic and a system that keeps the nightmares flowing year after year. In the 1970s, Carrie puts him on the map. Boom, we hit the 1980s, his undeniable golden era, with massive hits like It and The Shining. By the 2000s, he's seamlessly pivoting to historical fiction and thrillers like 11/22/63. And right up to the present day, the adaptations and new releases simply do not stop. His speed of publication is almost as unprecedented as his success. He moves at a relentless, breakneck pace that absolutely leaves his contemporaries in the dust.
So how does he actually pull this off? Step 1. Write 2,000 words a day. Every single day, no excuses. Step 2. Write with the door closed, meaning zero distractions, total immersion in the work. Step 3. Read constantly to feed that creative well. For any aspiring writers watching this explainer, the takeaway here is incredibly valuable. True horror mastery, and really true creative dominance, isn't just about having a wild imagination. It requires a rigid, highly structured, almost terrifying level of extreme discipline.
Section 4. Why King Still Terrifies.
Okay, so we've looked at the staggering numbers, his twisted techniques, the relentless timeline, and that fierce daily discipline. Now, let's bring all these thematic breakdowns together. It all comes down to this one question. Why do we keep willingly entering his nightmares, year after year, book after book, adaptation after adaptation? What is it about your own morbid curiosity that makes you pick up a Stephen King story when you know perfectly well it's going to terrify you? Well, it's not just about the adrenaline rush. It's a reflection of something much, much deeper inside all of us.
The simple truth is this. The most terrifying monsters aren't hiding under the bed. They're hiding within us. King holds up a dark mirror to human nature, showing us our own capacities for fear, madness, survival, and grief. He endures because he understands that the true source of horror is the human mind itself. So the next time you hear a creak in the floorboards, ask yourself, are you afraid of what's out there in the dark, or are you afraid of what the dark brings out in you? Thanks for exploring the mind of the master with me in this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and maybe leave the lights on tonight.